Fernanda.
And I'm Rachel, and today we're talking about the image of God.
So, Rach, how do you think God looks like?
I don't know. I suppose everyone sees God a bit differently. How about we draw how we see God?
That's a good idea. Let's do it.
So this is how Fernanda and I pictured God, and they look a bit different. So Fernanda, why did you draw God like that?
Because for me, God is like Jesus. It's basically the image that we have from God, and I think Jesus was like this. So, yeah.
Yeah.
And you?
Yeah, mine looks quite different. I drew the Trinity because God is the Holy Spirit, but God is the Son and God is the Father, all at the same time. He is all three of them. And this is just how I pictured the three, like the Holy Spirit is. I see it as the dove. It's pictured in a few ways in the Bible. One way is the dove. The Son, Jesus, on the cross, and then the Father in heaven. And his arms are like that because it's like outreach to us, like welcoming us. That was in my head anyway. So yeah, I just picture how God is seen in the Bible in different ways. So that was the Holy Spirit's with us today, Jesus in the New Testament, the sacrifice he made, and then the Father in the Old Testament, but they're all the same and all living now.
Yeah. That's interesting. It's interesting the way we see God. Sometimes we see God, we picture God in a different way, but it doesn't mean that God is different.
No. We might picture the image we have in our head will be different probably for all of us, based on our experiences, but the qualities of who God is, how he is loving and how he is forgiving, and all of those amazing qualities never changes. God is God.
Yeah.
So today we're looking at Colossians chapter 1, verses 15 to 18, and Fernanda is going to read it for us.
So it says, "We look at this Son and see the God who cannot be seen. We look at this Son and see God's original purpose in everything created. For everything, absolutely everything, above and below, visible and invisible, rank after rank of angels. Everything God started in him and finds its purpose in him. He was there before any of it came into existence and holds it all together right up to this moment. And when it comes to the church, he organizes and holds it together like a head does a body." So, as the Bible verse say, Jesus is the only visual reference that we have of God. So, when I draw Jesus, it's because he's the only picture that I have of God, because when he came here in the earth.
Yeah, and the verses also say that when we look at Jesus, we can see the original purposes he had for all of his creation.
All creation, it means everything, even the spiders.
Even the spiders, Fernanda. God created all things to have a purpose.
So if he created all things to have a purpose, and Jesus, he's in everything, it means that Jesus was with him in the beginning.
Yeah, Jesus was there. It says in verse 16, it says, "Everything got started in him and finds its purpose in him. He was there before any of it came into existence, and it holds it all together right up to this moment." And it's saying that because, like I drew in my picture, Jesus is God, and the Father is the same God, and the Holy Spirit is the same God. So that they're one God, and that God was obviously that created everything and brought everything into existence and gave everything a purpose.
Whoa, that's a big thing, isn't it? But another question, Rach, if we can see God through his creation, because everything he created with Jesus is a way we can see him, and if the only visual reference that we had of God was Jesus when Jesus came here, how can we see the image of God today? How can we see God today?
So when we know Jesus and we walk with him, we become more like him. And when we become more like him, we can be that image of God for other people. Maybe your friends at school, or family members, or just people you pass in the street. If you're friends with Jesus, you know Jesus, then you become like him and you get his characteristics, and therefore you're going to show other people who Jesus is, just like his disciples did.
Oh, that makes sense. So if I walk with Jesus and I do what Jesus would do, then I will be like the image of God today.
Yeah, definitely. We can show our friends who Jesus is just from our actions. Lord, I thank you for this time we spent together this morning, and I thank you for your word. I just pray that you help us to see your purposes in all your creation, Lord, that you would speak to us about everything you've created and why you have called it to be what it is. And I pray that we can be the image of God for our friends and our family members, Lord, that we can represent you as we go to school, Lord, and as we just we go to clubs, and as we see people even in the streets, Lord. Help us to be a disciple of you and to just show others your love and who you are. Amen. So today our craft is going to be making a DIY kaleidoscope.
Yeah, once you made it, you finished it, you look at it and you say, whoa, that's amazing. And that's the same way that God looks to his creation.
So let's get into it.
Woohoo!
So we've got some toilet rolls, some colour paper, scissors, sellotape, pens, mirrored card, acetate, or just plastic. You could use any, if you had a toy and you've got some clear plastic packaging, you can use that, it's absolutely fine. Any kind of thin clear plastic. Some funky sheets, and some sequins, some pom-poms, whatever little beads, or we've got cut up some straws, whatever you've got around the house, really.
So yeah, what's the first thing we are going to do, right?
Take your toilet roll and take your coloured paper. What would you like, Fernanda?
This one.
I'm going to go for blue. And then you just cover your toilet roll in the paper. So just want to cut it to rough size of the toilet roll. So you just need to cut the paper or the coloured card to the rough shape of the toilet roll, and then you're going to wrap it round to cover it, basically. Once you've put your paper out, just get a little bit of sellotape. Then you stick one side down onto the toilet roll and then the other side over the top. So once you've covered your toilet roll, you're going to get the mirrored card, and we're going to cut it to the length, again, similarly as we just did, the length of the toilet roll. So it's a square.
So you will cut your paper, then you fold in the middle, yeah, and then once you did it, you will fold one part that will meet the middle of the sheet, and the other part will meet also. So
into quarters.
Yes. Rachel always has the word.
Oh yeah, I wrote it down.
So then, once you have 4 parts, then you cut off one part of the paper. So once you have the 3 parts, you fold it like a triangle. Yeah, and with the mirror part to the inside. And once you do that, you can sellotape the top of the
two sides together.
The two sides together.
There needs to be a bit of a gap between your mirrored triangle and the edge of the toilet roll, so that a bit of the plastic can sit in, and also the bit that Fernanda's about to do can sit just inside of your toilet roll holder. Not holder, toilet roll.
From this, you already have a good feel. That's so nice.
So next you take your bit of plastic, your acetate, or your just thin bit of clear plastic, and you take a pen and you just draw around the end of the toilet roll holder. And you need to do that twice. So then when you cut them out, you need to cut one of the circles just inside of the pen line, and then the other one on the outside.
You take another toilet roll. So what you do, you can cut your toilet roll in the middle, and then you take a bit like this.
Just overlap the two bits of the toilet roll, just a little bit, maybe like 1 centimetre, 2 centimetres. So the idea is that it sits nicely inside of the toilet roll. So you can measure it if you like, and once you've got the size that you need, just get a little bit of sellotape. Fits. So then you put the clear circle onto the smaller bit of toilet roll, and you put sellotape over. So I'm just going to do that now. So then you get a longish bit of sellotape and you stick it over the top and down the sides. Put it in. Oh. And again, second bit. And do the same going the other way across the plastic. Make sure it's clear sellotape so you can still see through the plastic. And that's it. You stick it inside the toilet roll and it can move. So once you have your little bit of toilet roll with plastic on and it's secured with sellotape, you put that in the same side as the previous bit of plastic you put in. But before you do that, you fill it up with whatever you want, whether you've got beads or the sequins, pom-poms, whatever you've got at home that's going to look cool, basically. So I'm going to put pom-poms and straws in mine. So I've got a few pom-poms here. What that looks like. So I'm just going to stick it in the end of my thing.
So what you can do, you can just put your acrylic or your plastic, and you can use to look through things like
Patterned paper.
and you can look like this. It's really interesting and funny. Or you can do as Rachel did, and you can look through the light. Well, it was great to be with you this morning.
We can't wait to be with you again soon. Hope you have a great week. Bye!